On a scale from 1 to 5, 6.
What's up? What it is, what it do? It's your boy Alan C, and the place to be. I am bringing you a brand new episode of Buggin, this time on a Saturday morning. Happy birthday to me yesterday. That's why I wasn't able to get back on here. But we had some preseason action. Kickoff on Thursday and Friday. Let's go ahead and discuss it. You see at the bottom, follow Buggin on Instagram and YouTube at Al_U_Buggin. Shout out to my SidelineTalk family. I will have an interview with Coach Herb on a little bit later. But shout out Herb, Tay, and John. What up, bro? So preseason week 1 action so far. I said Thursday night, the Ravens kicked off against the Colts. Listen to my bonus episode for a breakdown on that one. Philadelphia Eagles and Cincinnati also played on Thursday. The Eagles won 34-27. The Bengals started Joe Burrow, started Jamar Chase. And they got some action. Joe Burrow went 9 for 10, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 4 catches, 77 yards in the tutty. We caught all 4 of his targets. But Tanner McKee was the story of the game for the Eagles. Went 20 for 25 with 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He played well. DTR got in some action as well. And Tanner McKee also ran, the Philly special. Well, not the Philly special. The brotherly shove. The tush push that wasn't banned this year. I think it's going to get banned after the season, though. But, again, the first touchdown of the year came on a 1-yard tush push to Tanner McKee for the Eagles. And then also the first tie of the preseason weekend, the Vegas Raiders and Seattle Seahawks tied at 23. Ashton Genty could not get going behind that Raiders offensive line, which may point to something bigger because he looked a lot like Madison last year, just trying to run behind that offensive line, but just not doing it. I appreciate you guys for checking in. The 2 people who did. Again, if I missed something, go ahead and throw a little comment on for me. But Aiden O'Connell went 18 for 30, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for the Raiders. And Drew Lock got most of the work for Seattle with 12 for 22, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Jalen Milroe looked pretty good running and throwing the ball, being decisive there. The quarterback, the rookie quarterback for Seattle, 6 for 10, 61 yards. And he added 38 more on the ground, but no touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers. So that's a good thing in your debut as a rookie. And speaking of rookie, everybody who, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolous with this take, but everybody had an opinion about the young Shedeur Sanders. And those who supported Shedeur, I had a statement that those who support Shedeur and those who go against Shedeur will be proven right. Just different periods, because it's going to be up and downs for the rookie, just like any other rookie. And those who were in support of Shedeur, they were proven right yesterday. Shedeur definitely went off, leading Cleveland over Carolina 30-10. But Shedeur went 14 to 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. I will never understand how someone who was talked about as being, the second best quarterback in the draft, when all was said and done, and he finished, and he had giant cleats for his last senior game. I'm sorry, for his last game of his senior year, and he was talking about Cam Ward and then Shador. Winds up dropping to the 5th round. I don't care if his dad was as loud as a Meek Mill verse. I don't care if he was as loud as a Gilly the Kid rant. There's no way for that man to drop 4 rounds from not even playing. It's craziness. I've seen people drop less with domestic charges, with drug issues, but because he talked and he's confident, and he showed why he's confident at every single level he's been in, somehow that's a bad thing. I'll never get it. You won't be able to convince me on that one. But shout out to Shador. Again, it's his first start. I know people will be just as loud if he didn't go off. So because he went off, and I was in the camp of supporting Shador, if you go to my Buggin.substack.com, you can see I definitely picked him up my quarterback rankings, and I wrote an article directly to Shador. So this is not hindsight. This is me keeping it a whole buck with Shador. And congratulations, Ken. On your first start, you definitely did your thing. Also, action from yesterday, the Patriots beat the Commanders 48-18. Josh Johnson on his, I think his 18th team now, did a lot of preseason action, 15-22, 173 yards, touchdown in the pick. Drake May got a little bit of action, 3 for 5, 12 yards. Joshua Dobbs and Ben Wooldridge pretty much got the same amount of action. Dobbs went 5 for 12. Wooldridge went 9 for 12. Travion Henderson had a good day in the return. He ran one back for a touchdown. I think Travion Henderson is one of those running backs that you're going to know within the next 2 to 3 years. As one of the draft steals for the Patriots, just call it a hunch. I've liked the kid for the last 3 years in college. I think he is definitely going to come out, show and prove in the backfield behind Ramondre Stevenson, of course. I'm not saying he's starting over Ramondre, but as a 1-2 punch, he's going to be the hell of a second punch. If my scouting eye is correct. All right. So today, Saturday, August 9th, got the Giants taking on Buffalo. Houston's taking on Minnesota. And the Jets is taking on Green Bay for the NFL Network triple header today. And then tomorrow's doubleheader at 1 o'clock, you have Miami and Chicago. And then at 4, you have New Orleans at the Chargers. And that will conclude week 1. All right. So I always do a quarterback tier in the preseason, just to let you know where I stand with certain quarterbacks. So here's my QB tiers for this upcoming season. All right, so starting at the top. And I'm sorry, this is a mixture of skill level, skill set, how well I think you're going to do this year, and already accolades wins, all of that good stuff. But I think a quarterback, to use a phrase that I mocked several times, quarterbacky. Make a quarterback quarterbacky. So top tier for me is Pat Mahomes. Again, what he's done, if people want to say last year or last 2 years were down years, one of those years he won a Super Bowl, the other one he lost the Super Bowl. If my down years put me in the Super Bowl, are they really down years? So Pat Mahomes at the top tier by himself, to me. Next, three, and not to say anything about Burrow, but Burrow has to be in the playoffs to stay in tier two. It's Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. To me, is that second tier of great quarterbacks in this league. No matter what's around them, they seem to make it work with their offense, leading their offense to high heights, leading that team. Like I said, Joe Burrow needs to get back to the playoffs. He can't miss the playoffs 3 years and not say he leading his team to high heights. I can't. So, Lamar, Josh, and Joe are that tier two. Tier three, because I don't believe that there's a set top 10 per se. I believe it's like a top 13, but nobody wants to really say top 13. So they just rounded it off into 10. And so I'm going to do that. But I'll put all of these in the same boat, and it can go in any order. So Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott rounds out that top 10 for me. And they're all on the same tier to me. The next tier is Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Tua Tagovailoa. Pretty good, but they need a lot to go right for them to show how good they really are. Baker Mayfield with Liam, Brock Purdy with that 49ers roster. Trevor Lawrence did win a playoff game with a good coach and good defense. Jordan Love, the same thing. Tua Tagovailoa, he wins in the regular season with that top great wide receiver core. When they're hurt, or unfortunately he's been hurt and the offensive line has been hurt, hasn't really got a chance to show how good he can be. And he's still in the field. And then the over the hill tier, I'm going to put Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Geno Smith is sneakily old. Geno Smith's been around a long time in this league. So I'm putting him with that. And Joe Flacco. And that's that senior tier. And Joe Flacco might not even be the starter, so I don't even know if I'm keeping Joe Flacco in that tier. And then the young guys, you got to see more out of. Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, Drake May, and Anthony Richardson, again, who may not be starting this season. Just going off of preseason work so far, that might be a Daniel Jones start. And Daniel Jones will probably be in that same tier where they're solid, but I need to see more out of to really put them. Just 27 out of the 32. The other 5 quarterbacks either haven't started enough games, because this is at least 10 starts, or, they're rookies. So I don't think I can honestly put them in the tier just yet. But coming up, I will have an interview with none other than Coach Herb Lewis, starter of SidelineTalk, wide receiver coach now at Dunbar. My SidelineTalk brethren, my high school classmate, Herb Lewis, man, what's going on?
What's up, bro? Chilling.
Um,
It feels good to be back in this setting. It's been a minute.
it's been a minute. As soon as you put the word in, Sideline Talk back. That's how you bugging on a hiatus.
Oh no.
It's- I
That's
mean,
funny.
I didn't even want to say this off to start, but we can start here. Um, if you're new to Al You Bugging or who I am, this man right here put the word out that he was starting online radio show with WMSK, and he reached out, and I was one of the original founding members of Sideline Talk. Um, but he's the brainchild of that, so I do want to thank you for putting that bug in my ear and getting me that that itch to do sports media.
No problem, man. Absolutely.
What made you? Because of course, the name of the show is Al You Bugging, so of course I have some takes that people don't agree with. What made you reach out to be like, yeah, Al?
So that actually was one of the biggest things is you're your own person. You know how like people say you don't need a bunch of yes men in your circle?
Mhm.
And when you're talking about sports media, you don't want everyone with the same opinion, because then it becomes stale, becomes stagnant. And even when we were in algebra class, like I don't know how we. First of all, I don't know if you was a great math student. I probably was like maybe C plus, B minus in that class. But shout out to whoever the teacher was. I don't remember the teacher. I just remember
No idea.
we got the work done, but the majority of the time we sitting there like the whole period just discussing ball, and it was just like the natural back and forth we had back then. I was like, yeah, this would be dope for to do a show with. And it's funny because like thinking of it now, this is 2025. We kind of were ahead of our time. It's like we jumped on the podcast space like early on before it really like now podcasts are through the roof. So it was like it was dope because my thought process of it, I wanted to fill a void that was missing in mainstream media. Like mainstream media, even to this day, it's is narrative based, and 9 times out of 10, it's a negative narrative. And
Right.
my focus was okay. We can do the negative narrative, but let's talk X's and O's. Let's point out why such and such worked, why I didn't like to go in that space. And then Sideline Talk kind of like organically grew from there, where we wound up talking about life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's funny because like we wound up talking about life, we wound up talking about ball, we debate. It's kind of like what the pivot is now. What
True.
I Am Athlete is now. Like the whole format, I'm like, yo, we was doing that before that was even thought of. So I just thank God for the thought process and pointing to the right guys. You were I wouldn't say antagonist, but I always knew you was gonna come with a take like Al was tripping.
Right. Al You Bugging?
Again for real. But it was perfect. You have that, you had John with the comic relief, Tay coaching, he's naturally funny and very well a great speaker, great communicator.
Right.
It's fun. It's fun. A lot of
Um, y'all definitely got me right with scouting, and so I've never really looked at college football in that type of space. I've loved it since 2005, the Texas versus USC national championship
Oh wow. Yeah.
was the one that
Good for
got me
him.
hooked, and I've loved it since then. But you guys were the first to really put it as, why did this work?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I want to thank you guys for that. Give you your flowers and everything. While I tell you this all the time. You're my brother, so
Right, for sure.
Always, put that word in. But again, you coaching, poet pride.
Yeah, man.
We see it. We
Yeah.
see it. Definitely coming out in the fall. Um, what got you into coaching, and what are you actually coaching the Dunbar?
So this is hilarious. I actually think I was telling this to my wife the other day. In fact, it was last week. I honestly think I got into coach. Well, Tavon asked me.
Mhm.
Tavon asked me to help out. He was coaching rec ball at Rosedale Rec, 13U at the time, and he wanted me to help out with the receivers.
My bad.
And I honestly believe my scouting eye on Cooper Cup
Hmm.
was the reason why he asked me. Like, to be totally honest, because like I remember that draft, that was, Michael Thomas was the hot name. Corey Davis was the hot name. I think Mike T went second round that year, right? Like,
Yeah, this was Philly draft.
yeah, we was at Philly, yes.
Yeah,
But I was talking about, no, Cooper Cup is gonna be the best in the draft. Like,
right.
Cooper,
You did
White Boy Easton White. I'm telling you, Cooper Cup this. And then it's just like, because that was what, 2015, 2016?
2016. Yeah.
2016, right.
You had
I
Corey
started,
Davis in that draft. You had Zay Jones in that draft.
right.
Like you said, Cooper Cup. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say the following year, maybe, is when he asked me to help out. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I help out. I coach the receivers. I wouldn't say I played it in high school. Like, I was on the team. I wasn't really taught the position very well as well as I teach it, I should say.
Okay.
Um, but that was like, the position is my passion, wideouts. So studying it, I thought I did. Obviously, I did a pretty good job of scouting Cooper Cup, and then each year it's like, okay, I'm pretty good at scouting receivers. So he asked me. We had some success at Rosedale, and then it was so much success on that team. Like, the head coach at one of the top MIAA schools, Concordia Prep, reached out and wanted to not only recruit our kids and recruit our receivers and DNs and running backs. He's like, you know what? Let's bring the whole staff on, coach the JV. So we going there to coach our guys, and lo and behold, our guys was prepared to play varsity football straight out of rec.
Try it right. Wow.
Yeah. So we did our staff, we did a pretty good job of preparing guys for the next level. So those guys played 4 years of varsity. We went there, Concordia, think we can have those guys on the roster. But in actuality, we only had 14 kids on the JV roster at one point. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's crazy how they, you know what I mean?
Right.
But with those 14 kids, we went to Mount St. Joe and beat their JV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes. So like,
Impressive.
when it comes to like knowing ball, like, we do a pretty good job of studying and scheming and so on and so forth. So I know it's a longer answer, but sideline talk, the scouting eye, and
Mhm.
then T just action, just trying to help a friend.
Right.
That got me into coaching.
Okay. So what do you? So you still coaching wideouts at
Yeah, I'm wide outs.
Dublin?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So known around Baltimore, and I believe it's changing, but Dunbar is a basketball school. From if you ask people who haven't been paying attention, by judging by your face, we got something. So just speak on just turning that to a false narrative that Dunbar is.
I think I think overall Dunbar is just a powerhouse
Mhm.
because, yes, nationally, you think Dunbar basketball. You think the greatest high school team assembled. The '82 team with Muggsy and
I'm
Truck
old
and all
school.
that. Yes, like, and I was tripping because when I walk into the gym, it's like walking in to the Boston Garden because you look around, it's banners everywhere. Basketball, 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 basketball. But there's also 13 state championships that Dunbar football has.
Okay.
So, and you think of Dunbar football, it's still rich history. You know, a lot of talent, a lot of guys who went to the next level. You got guys who played at the highest level at Dunbar. You got obviously guys like Tommy Polly, the head coach now, Coach Courtney Bridget. He played with the Skins, formerly known, the Commanders known as the Skins. He played with them for a few years. You had plenty of guys. He was on the team with Tavon Austin.
Okay.
That legendary team. Tavon Austin probably got the greatest high school highlight tape of all
High school
time.
mixtape.
It's
West Virginia
crazy.
mixtape. Yeah.
It's crazy. But Tavon was with the Dunbar. And on this current team, like before I even go there, Old Dominion starting running back. Shout out to Dev. Dev is starting running back at ODU. Josh Fed is at Harvard starting at DN. Boo Bear is at Missouri State. Dunbar always putting out athletes, to the next level. Like whether it be basketball or football. And I would say in more recent years, it's been football is getting kids to the next level, in the higher levels than basketball.
Okay.
But I'm excited. This particular season, we're loaded. I would say we're loaded, and we try and get number 14.
Got you. Hope you got that, man. Perfect that you got that. You're gonna get these kids ready. So who? How long have you been coaching? How many years?
I'll say it this way. Technically, it hasn't been 10 years yet. I would say since 2000. I want to say it was 2017.
Okay. Do you have any memories from coaching of like your favorite, not necessarily favorite players, because I mean, I know you all like your babies, all your kids, but like
I got a lot of kids.
many like stories about for Mamba moments type of deal.
So all right. The first one that came to mind. Yeah, it was my first and my only year coaching rec ball. I think it was a playoff game. I don't even remember who we playing. Might have been a team from like PG County. I can't remember the team name. But it was a young man named Dakari Baldwin. Rest in peace to him. He lost his life a few years back. It was late in the game, and I think we were either tied. I think it was a tie game. In the car, we call like a typical like power, typical B-gap power to one of our top backs. And Dakari is one of the receivers, probably one of the smaller receivers, but he played with a lot of confidence and he bought into what I was teaching. And he had one of the key blocks to spring a 50-yard touchdown to like seal the game. And I just remember the joy on his face of doing something unselfish. He running from the 50-yard line, jumping. You see that, coach? Like, to me, that like he didn't make physically like catch a touchdown or anything, but the unselfishness of him to make the block and knowing that what he did played a part in us winning the game, I thought was just like that's one of the joys of coaching.
I'm gonna go ahead and get your take on these QB tiers real quick before we get you out of here.
I got time, man. You gotta rush me, Doc. I got time. I promise. I set aside a lot of time. Plus, we in a dead week. You know what I mean? I'm good.
We is. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off with the QB tiers. I'll put Pat by himself at top of tier 1 by himself. No knock to any other quarterback. It's just that what he was able to do so far in his career, it separates. from championships, MVPs, quote unquote, his down year, his worst year, he's in the Super Bowl. So I gotta put him in the tier by himself.
And so, okay, so these tiers are based on accomplishments and
Accomplishments
not
for
just talent.
some, talent, negative eye, my eye for certain players. It's a little bit of a potpourri of everything.
Okay.
And just where I place you as far as a quarterback. Now, in and of the tiers itself, it's not like a 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's just these are the guys that I grew. So getting into the next tier, I had Lamar, Josh, and Joe. Those three to me, I being biased and being a fan, Lamar is at the top of that for me. But just as recent as last year, Joe was 2.
Gotcha.
So it can easily switch for
I
me. Like,
understand.
what order you put those 3 in?
Okay.
Um,
I don't. Okay. All right.
all right,
I
let's
say
go
that. I
move
say
on. Just,
that.
what happened?
No, because I don't agree. I mean, I get it, like having Pat stand alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing the reason why he stands alone from them is simply because of the accomplishments and the titles.
Yeah, accomplishments and
That's
titles.
it. Cause like ability wise,
Not ability wise, he don't
okay, all
necessarily
right.
separate
So I'm about to
between
say,
them. But what he
bruh.
was able to do so far
Yeah.
between each of them, he pretty much put another Hall of Fame, but like type of career in between all of them. I mean, you got 5 more appearances and 3 more Super Bowls than Lamar and Josh. You got 2 more MVPs than Joe with 3 titles. Like you pretty much put a whole Hall of Fame between you and your contemporaries
Well,
for Pat for me.
I guess. All right. I would
All
agree
right.
they probably the 4 best though. I would agree with that.
Yeah, most people put them at the top of their 4, unless you want to be. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna be some. There's gonna be some hot takes this season from Al you bugging, but I ain't gonna start there with them 4. I ain't playing
I
with them
got you.
games. And the next tier, I got 6 quarterbacks in. It could be 7. It could be 9. But I'm gonna just
Wow.
say Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Matt Stafford, and Dak Prescott. It's gonna be the next tier under them for me.
All right. So this is my question.
Hmm.
Why aren't what's the difference between the second tier and the third tier? What's the biggest difference?
The biggest difference for me, Lamar, Josh, and Joe and Pat can stand alone as a talent and not say win it by themselves,
Yeah,
but
you can in football. That's
you don't
big.
need to have the best of the best around them for them to do what they do.
Okay.
Um,
All right, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I
So with
feel
that
like
being said, I think you should somebody should be bumped up into that to a tier with them where you don't
who
need
would
the
that?
best of the best.
Who would that be?
First off rip would be Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford do not need the best of the best to get things done.
I mean,
I mean, listen, he was in Detroit. He had Calvin. Okay, yes, yeah, but outside of Calvin, name the offensive line.
I can't.
Name the OC.
I don't think I can do that when
Who was the running backs?
he had Javid Best at one point, didn't he?
Javid Best ain't only played what 4 years for with concussion issues. Probably. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But
I know we had old Reggie Bush at one point, but yeah, you're right.
Nate Burleson. He had Nate Burleson towards the end of Burleson's career, and Burleson was always a solid receiver. But you see what I'm saying? Like then he went from Detroit to the Rams, where he's in a system that fits him, fits his skill set, and then he had talent. Now, no one besides me was one. Put it this way: before Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford got together, he was considered like a sleeper a solid receiver. He get with Matt, he the best in the league for a year. That triple crown. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Puka super underrated coming out of college, but was a route runner if you studied it. He gets with Matt. Puka, you can argue Puka in the top 10.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
he's arguable. Okay.
I think Matt is the guy. Like, bro.
Now I feel like Matt could be
different.
Matt could be in that top 5. If you wanted to put Matt at 5, I ain't got no argument.
That's what I'm saying. To me, he top 5.
Yeah, if you want to put Matt at 5, there's no argument. I don't think there's an argument from me on many. All right, I might pull the tail on Dak Prescott and say, all right, you tripping if you want to put him in his top 5.
No, I wouldn't go that
might
far.
argue that one. But most of these in this tier, somebody got to be 5. And
yeah,
I said, it's not necessarily in order, but somebody got to be 5.
Yeah,
out of this tier to
for
me.
Sure. And I know the hot topic, national media is like Jalen Hurts.
Right.
And I think Jalen Hurts is really good.
I think Jalen Hurts is very talented.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him over Matthew Stafford as a QB. Because I think Stafford in that offense with those weapons, they still win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They still
that offense, that defense, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like they call a ton of RPOs for Jalen. Most of the time he's handing the ball off. He's, you know what I mean? He's quick in his quick game, play action and into his drop back. It's still pretty simple. It's like not doing too much. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matthew could do that and then even more. Like
Stafford, I mean, I got Jalen at my 5. Me personally, I think I could put Jalen at my 5.
Yeah.
Because he had talent last year, but he really came into a situation where the coach that he had before, Doug Peterson, didn't really do too much to boost his confidence in that system.
Right. And I think that's why it works. Even and Doug was coming off a Super Bowl.
Right.
So it's like, okay, but it's a perfect storm. You go from who was it? Doug Peterson. Who was it? Sirianni's there now. Who's the OC?
Sirianni. You went from Kellen. Kellen Moore? I know Kellen Moore won the Super Bowl. I don't know if he's still there now. But Kellen Moore came there and won the Super Bowl.
No, he's in Saints.
Okay. So Kellen Moore came in and won the Super Bowl, but that was after Matt Patricia as your OC? Right.
Yeah. But still, think about it. Think what Kellen Moore does. That's first of all, it's a younger guy who just wrapped up his career, maybe 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that age gap is a little closer to Jalen. He's a QB who understands where the trend is going. And Kellen Moore did a really good job of utilizing his weapons. You know what I mean? I look at it this way. A lot of OCs mess up because they want to run system instead of creating a system around who you have and building it together. And I think Kellen Moore did a pretty good job of that.
He did. Now, all right, I put Trevor Lawrence with this group, and Trevor Lawrence to me is all right. So for people who may not know, Carson Wentz was a complete. Like I'm going to die on this hill with Carson Wentz,
bruh.
This the other one gonna be the same day with Trevor Lawrence. For me.
I'm about to say it.
I am going to die on this Trevor Lawrence hill until he get ran out the league. But in that third, or this is technically the fourth category, I have Baker Mayfield, who I think stepped up over the last 2 years from.
I told y'all Baker was nice. Y'all ain't believe me.
I'm gonna see what happened with him without my man that went over there on the Duval. But Liam. You see what happened without Liam, but Liam was there with him with LA and then became OC with him in Tampa Bay. So let's see. But Baker Mayfield has been stepping up over the last 2 years. Brock Purdy, people who had that same argument that they had with Jalen Hurts now with Brock Purdy. So I'm gonna just put him there. Trevor Lawrence, again, that might be too high for some people. He might need to be in another category. But for me, and again, this could be Al, you bugging. I'm putting him in this category with Jordan Love and Tua. And it's kind of wild
Man.
card because Tua and Jordan Love, that they had a good season, they had some bad seasons. It's kind of up and down. It's kind of flaky, especially Tua and weather. It's kind of flaky. I think it's something to that.
Listen, I don't want to jump through this too far down, but you got two guys. I would even say I would make a prediction and say three guys, especially going into this 2025 season. In that last tier, that I will put in this tier ahead of Trevor, Tua, and Purdy.
Who's that?
Bo Nix,
Okay.
Bryce,
Okay.
and Drake May.
Okay. So
I think
Bo
people
and
sleeping
Drake.
on Drake May. Boy.
I think Bo and Drake have they question marks. That last tier is a question mark. It's not really. I'm not too sure if Kyler Murray is failing or is that system failing him and he just need a new start somewhere. I don't know. There's a question mark. I'll go to this last tier and then go a tier above it. So I have Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, Drake May, and Anthony Richardson, all in the last category because they're question marks to me. Caleb Williams got Ben Johnson now, and he's supposedly struggling through camp. We got reports that Lamar Jackson was struggling through camp and was throwing interceptions and trying to pick up the system
Yeah.
and was you know, it's a new system. It's an offensive thing that he's learning. So it's a question mark. Same thing with Bryce Young. Bryce Young picked up last year, but
Bryce was balling
yeah,
towards
he picked
like
up last year.
you
So it's
go
a
back
question mark. Are you
and
gonna
watch it.
keep growing,
I
or was
think
that a
so.
blip?
I think that Carolina Panther team is going to surprise a lot of people. They might not make the playoffs or nothing, but I think they're going to be really. They were super competitive the last month and a half of the season
Hmm.
last year.
Yeah.
And bruh, I think that built confidence, and I think they added some solid pieces. Yeah, the biggest thing is the confidence from the QB. Like
Correct.
the game is slowing down for him. You starting to see that talent to the point where he was dragging a little bit with the no look touchdown passes. Like,
Yeah. Hmm. Like I
I
said,
think
a
I
question
think he's
mark.
sleeping.
And Bo and Drake, they got 1 year. Now, of course, Jaden Daniels had 1 year as well. But that
And Bo was
I
right there
think
with him.
it's more likely. I don't want to say anybody's failing off. Like I don't want to say that. I want to be negative. If there were to be a QB slump or a sophomore slump, I would see it happening with quarterbacks that's not as mobile and not as because Jaden he's still mobile enough to extend plays and
Like
throw
Bo. I think
downfield.
Bo's mobile enough. I think yeah.
Mm. But that's the
But I
one
don't know.
reason where I feel
I
like
think
Jaden
Sean.
Daniels would be like the second, the least likely to have that sophomore slump out of them. So that's why I put them with question marks. Whereas JD,
Right.
he proven he was a game away from the Super Bowl his rookie year. He proven that there ain't no moment too big.
Okay. But and I think in his case, to me it's the perfect storm. I want to say storm, perfect situation. You have a coordinator and an offense that that wants to utilize every particular blade of grass on the field
Mhm.
in Kingsbury offense. And it's a bit of a air raid principles at times. It's multiple, it's like air raid principles. So it's like with all this space, it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't type of offense. And with a quarterback that's shows the amazing composure and the ability to read defenses the way Jaden does, bruh,
Yeah.
he gonna be. If them two stay together, he'll be in that top 5 conversation by like week 4. People gonna start saying there's gonna be some craziness. He might be better than Lamar. He might be better. Like you gonna start hearing all kinds of
That's
craziness.
Mr. Jackson. That's Mr. Jackson. So,
Right. You
Mr.
gonna hear
Jackson
some
still.
wild stuff. But Bo Nix and Sean Payton, like
Yeah.
that's another good mix.
I mean, Bo had some struggles early on, which is to be expected. And then he was great towards the end of the season.
Yes.
And then they lost to Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. And he didn't do too well in that game in the playoffs.
Okay.
So it's still up and down, still kind of rocky with Bo. But, I mean, I was pretty high on Bo, I think a year before he came out of Oregon.
Yeah.
All right. And then my last tier is kind of the old guys, kind of. I don't know what to do with them. But Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith he's sneakily old. Same thing with Sam Darnold. I know he was in 2018 draft. They kind of sneakily old. Justin Fields is getting up there, and it's kind of do or die type of situation for Justin. And Joe Flacco, I don't even know if he's gonna be in Cleveland. Hell, by the time this air, I don't even know he's gonna still be in Cleveland. But
yeah. I don't know. I think that those guys will group together pretty well. Fields just got to prove it.
yeah, Fields got to prove it, and I could definitely move him up.
And I think I'm grateful as a Raven fan. I'm grateful the Steelers gave up on Fields and went to the old man. I'm super grateful because I didn't think Fields was that bad. I thought what Fields was doing early on, it was what it was 3-1 when he made the switch.
Yeah, 3-1.
I get it. It's like they it's like the Steelers didn't know what they want to do. Like you put Fields in and saying, don't do too much. Take care of the ball. We're gonna run the ball, rely on our defense. Just to switch it and go to a quarterback and Russ, tell him the same thing, but knowing Russ gonna take this deep shots every now and then. And it's like he gonna hit on the deep shot, but he gonna turn the ball over.
Right.
Whereas with Fields, it was like it was more methodical, take care of the ball, and you still have the threat of the run.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Good as the enemy agreed.
It's crazy.
Good as the enemy agreed.
Yeah.
They had it good. They wanted to try to go for great with Russell, and it wound up being.
And it was terrible.
It's good.
Nah, like I would have stuck with Fields. I think we talked about it when it happened. Like, man, y'all they tripping. I'd have stuck with Fields, but thank you.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Real quick. You're at Dunbar. Any games you got coming up that you? I don't want to say got circled, but like said you need to come out and support.
Man, it's Dunbar. It's Dunbar. It's gonna be packed regardless. Like I really don't have nothing circled. I got camp circled to be honest. Like I'm ready to camp on the 13th. That's what I'm ready for. But
you always with the one step at a time.
Look, man, yeah. Yeah. I mean, every game is Dunbar, so every game is going to be circled, and then it's Dunbar with a new coaching staff. Like we're replacing the staff. We're replacing the staff that lost one game in the last 3 years.
Okay.
And it just so happened to be the state championship this past season.
Okay.
So it's like, one, even the Dunbar faithful are like doubting what we can do. If you get what I'm saying. So it's gonna be a lot of eyes. It's like it's the Floyd Mayweather effect. It's gonna be a lot of eyes coming to see us win or lose. Either way they want to be in the building.
That's what I want to see. Right.
Either way,
Man, brother, I appreciate you doing this interview with me. Um,
for sure. I'm surprised you didn't ask
and
about wideouts. Like, okay, I was prepared.
I was going to do so, but we ain't that at that week yet. We ain't at that
Gotcha.
week yet. I ain't get that prepped up yet. But you definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna be coming out to some games. You know what's up if you get me out to come out in the cold, brother.
For sure. Wait, the first one, the first game of the year won't be cold. It's still September, so you be all right. We
All
play the
right.
team. Play a team. Stonebridge from Virginia. Stonebridge got two major deep power P4 commits. They got a corner that committed to Syracuse and a DN that committed to Tennessee. So it's gonna be some fun. It's gonna be the big wigs are gonna be out because we got a lot of on our defense. We've got one, two, three, four kids with power with D1 offers. So yeah, so we'll see.
Brother, again, appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
Yes, sir. Let's do it again.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Stop. That was my interview with my brother Herb, man. I appreciate him supporting Al You Buggin. But before I get you out of here, we got preseason week 2 starts on Friday, August the 15th. The doubleheader on NFL Network is Tennessee at Atlanta, starting at 7 o'clock, and then followed by Kansas City at Seattle. That's at 10. Saturday, the triple header is Cleveland at Philly at 1 o'clock. So we want to see what Shador does for Act 2. 4, we have San Francisco at Las Vegas. 7, you have the Jets versus the Giants. And 9:30, you have Arizona at Denver. Sunday, Jacksonville at New Orleans, Buffalo at Chicago. And then the first Monday night game of the preseason, Cincinnati at Washington on ESPN. So that is my show for this this week. I also have a bonus episode you can check out that broke down the Ravens game. Follow Al You Buggin on social medias, IG, YouTube, Threads, alubuggin.substack.com, putting more articles up there. So I appreciate it. That's my show for today.